Is it working?
I don't know, let's try.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
It is pretty out here, despite the fact it's like pretty much winter season. It's not even spring feeling yet. There's already boats in the water, so we got to be careful. There's a ski boat way off in the distance there. I think you guys can see that, right? Right there. There we go. This guy has been running back and forth, and then this other guy over here is just getting in the water now. So we just have to be a little bit more careful. I've talked about before that these boats here, they don't know what a dive flag is, and even if I dragged one, they would not care, so they would just run over the dive flag. Anyways, welcome back to the video. This is Henry. Beautiful day. We were supposed to camp out here for 2-3 days with the whole team in this little camp spot right behind me. And yeah, they got the music cranked. I think you can hear that, right? The wakeboard boat. Yeah, we're supposed to camp here, but weather turned south on us and never. This has been just a crappy spring. Not a happy time. Got Dennis right there. Got Sylvie, a newer member of the team, and we got free divers here. So we're gonna get in the water and see what we can find. Just doing a day dive instead of the camp and dive because it's just not very nice out right now. All right. Okay, so here's the thing. On Wednesday when I dove, I thought I had problems with my dry suit in the crotch area where the crotch strap caused the leak in my dry suit. So I'm going to get in the water. I brought 2 suits with me. So I'm going to test the first dry suit to see if it works. If it doesn't, I got to change dry suits. Let's see what happens. Man, this was a long walk to get into hip deep water. I had to go quite a ways out. You can see the boundary marker there actually off in the distance. But basically I try to squat down a little bit and then try to do some deep lunges, trying to see if I can get water in there, and water did not come in, which is just, man, okay, well, I mean, that's good news. So the seam of the dry suit was not leaking. All right, no leak. Gonna get my dive gear on, head in the water. Let's see what we can find. So the last time I was out in Cultus Lake a few months ago, the visibility was not very good at all. I was really hoping that this time would be better, and it was a little bit, but not great. I knew that I had to scooter quite a way else just to get into any kind of depth of water, so I took a straight line. I don't remember the compass bearing. I don't know if you can see that on my compass there, whatever that compass bearing is. I'm running a straight line out, and then I'm going to do a hard right turn, a 90-degree turn to the right once I reach a workable depth. The free divers were doing shallower depths, so they were going to dive down to roughly 30-35 feet max, and my target was between 40 to 55 feet of water. And I want to do a hard right turn because Dennis was going to do a hard left turn from the same spot. So I picked up a few garbage pieces of trash, beer cans and such on the way out. As you can see here, all of the silt is very normal for the lake, but a lot of this silt is actually from the landslide a couple of years ago. And much of the garbage actually has this fine layer of silt, granite silt sitting on top of it. Like you can see here, this bottle was covered in it. And really, I'm just looking for shapes of items versus trying to see the actual bottle. You can see here, I'm looking for a glint of color, and then as I get closer, I can see the shape of the item. This is a beer can, and then you can see off in the distance here a couple more. But a lot of times you have to differentiate the difference between there's a beer bottle. You really have to kind of see, okay, well, wait a second, that beer bottle was the same color as the rocks around it, but you really have to recognize the shape. So I'm still getting really good light here despite all of the sediment in the water, the suspended silt, as it were. Man, look at this giant log. It's quite large, absolutely monstrous, probably from back in the logging days, I would imagine. Can you imagine those guys that, I remember, I think it was like on one of the nature channels on TV, whatever, they used to have that show where these guys went and retrieved petrified logs and salvaged them for money. And can you imagine they came down here and I could just pinpoint these logs for them? Like each one of these logs are worth thousands of dollars, I think. Anyway, so I'm getting here a little bit deeper in the water. I think I'm starting to push just a little past 40 feet. So I have to bring the light out. So now the problem trying to scooter at this with this kind of low visibility, this kind of light, is really difficult, because what I have to do is I have to just give the throttle a little twist to go forward a couple of feet, look around for a beer bottle or any kind of trash, and then do the same thing again. Anytime I have to pick something up, I have to drop the scooter, which causes a disturbance silt as the scooter hits the bottom, and then as well as me picking up the trash. The part that I find hard to deal with is that I can't actually put the light on my helmet like I would like to, because there's so much reflection in the water from the light hitting it, and there's a little sole of a shoe, running shoe perhaps, and so if having that light directly mounted to my helmet, which is next to my right eye, there's just too much reflection. It's kind of like getting yourself blinded with high beams driving in fog. So I have to actually hold the trash bag with one hand while holding the light and while holding the scooter as well too. So that golf ball was hard to find. This thing, I didn't know what it was in the water. I just knew that it shouldn't be there, so I grabbed it. When I got it above water, I still had no idea what it is. I think it's like probably a soccer ball or some kind of ball. Didn't know what that was either until I picked it up. And it's a little Oakley hat, little sun visor. So I think here it's this, I'm now going across, so I'm thinking around 50 feet or so. I think my running depth is around 50, 51 feet, and I'm running along the beach, parallel to the beach, before it got a little shallower. You can see here the light is actually getting lighter now, so this is the part where I think I'm actually running up towards, yes, this is the part where I'm running towards the beach. Back now I'm around 20 feet or so. Here's my first tire. I ended up getting 2 tires. Here's my little lanyard that I created, so basically little carabiner with a little lanyard, clip that off, and then clip it off the lift bag. Okay, so I ran into a problem here. So this is a lift bag that I lost. Here's 31 feet. That's my running depth. Running back, so running between 30 and 20 feet. So this is the lift bag that I lost at Alberdick Lake, and I found it, but I didn't check to see if it works. So you'll see in a second here what happened was there was a bunch of silt actually stuck inside the dump valve at the very top. So you can see here I'm tipping my head to the right, and the lift bag's on my left-hand side, because what I'm doing is I'm blowing air through my exhaust port of my regulator, trying to get air into the lift bag. You can see me doing a second time here, and I don't understand why I can't get the tire off the bottom of the lake. You can see me here picking it up, trying to unweigh it, and it's not working. Here's my third attempt at putting air into the lift bag. You blow air into the bottom. There's a baffle that keeps the air from coming back out. And I lift it up and I go, this is really odd. I'm looking up to see what's going on, and you can see here. See, that's a freeze frame. You can see the bubble coming out of the very, very top, and that's the exhaust port. So I saw it and I go, okay, well, let me try this one more time. So I lost count now. This is the 4th or 5th time putting air in. Look up and I can see just air dumping out. Okay, great. So now when I'm going to go up and I check to see what's going on, but the problem is I don't have enough dexterity with my giant dry gloves on to work with that. So I just gave up, said, okay, fine, whatever. And I just grabbed the thing and I just started scootering. So now, instead of working with a neutral weight, I'm pretty much just lifting this tire in, as well as bottles and cans or whatever on there. It's a little bit heavier than I would have liked, but there's nothing I can do about it. Here's my strangest find of my dive. Here's a fire extinguisher. I didn't actually check to see if it was actually full. I probably should have. It probably is, because the pin is still in there. Here's my second tire. I was not excited to find this. Yes, I was excited to get the tire out of the water, but I was not excited to find it knowing that my lift bag wasn't working correctly. So second lanyard for lifting, again carabiner through the loops that I've made, clip that off, knowing very well that this is not really working, the lift bag is not really working, but there's nothing I can do about it underwater. So grab this, started scootering. So I'm running at about 15 feet now, I think, or 20 feet. Found a paddle. Actually, a nice one, actually. A little, not very expensive, but still a nice paddle. Ended up giving it to one of the other divers because she wanted to have a paddle. So here we are. We're at surface now. You can see I'm just going to stand up. And I had to drag all the stuff to the camp. It came out pretty much where I wanted to go, right? Those cars there, that's where we're parked. All right, and we got Quite a bit of stuff here. Some tires. Lots of glass bottles for me in my bag here. And I'm going to weigh everything and see what we got. My my dry suit did not leak in the crotch this time, but what happened was because I was working with the Liftbag, that the one that I lost in the lake, and I was using it this time. So what happened was I kept on looking up at it because there was a leak in the bag. I had to figure that out, but I kept on looking up and then the water just pouring down my neck, and oh, it's cold, 4-degree water. All right. 27 pounds. 7.5 pounds. 9.5 pounds. Oh, that's heavy. 24 pounds. All right, here we go. 297 pounds of garbage. And this is what it looks like. Got a little boat paddle, 5 tires, a whole bunch of ropes right there. Start from this side. Chunks of concrete bricks. Well, we need those 3 right there. We've got a length of chain. Oh, Steve found a phone. Look at that. In a little bag. I wonder if that's still okay. We got some beer cans, some beer bottles. Looks like 5, 10, 20, 26 beer cans, bottles. I found that fire extinguisher, so that was kind of cool. Some giant homemade anchors there. And there's Steve right there with his find. Looks all beat up there.
Yeah, that's a little dumb.
Well, thanks guys. Thanks for sticking with another video. Super fun one. I gotta go figure out my lift bag, my newly recovered lift bag that's not quite functioning properly as understandable. So, see you guys in the next video. Thank you for my Patreon supporters. All right, have a good one, guys.